Ahoy, ahoy, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble on About Movies Reactions. Hey, we're back!
We're back! New
location!
New
location!
It's a different color wall!
It's different!
There's nothing, we're far away from the counter.
And Dan's sitting on the left and I'm sitting on the right. What is going on? Everything is different. Next thing you know, pets are going to be talking. Speaking of talking pets, Dan, what movie are you going to react to?
I'm reacting to The Secret Life of Pets, albeit it's a little late. I don't know, a month? Maybe a little more than a month
3
late.
weeks.
I'm not sure when this movie came. 3 weeks? It made a lot of money in 3 weeks. So
I'm happy about that.
I mean, I went out and saw Secret Life of Pets. This guy here had it in our fantasy box office to do. Hullabaloo.
Yes.
And so this movie is about Max and Duke. Max has the owner, I forget the owner's name, and it's The Secret Life of Pets. So everyone sees the trailers. It's like, what do pets do when you're gone all day? So Max is the character voiced by Louis C.K. Beautifully. I love Louis C.K. His voice, perfectly fit this dog. After a while, you kind of forget it's Louis C.K. You know his voice. It's very distinct. Mm-hmm. But after a while, you're kind of like, I totally buy that this is Louis C.K. Or this is a dog. It's not Louis C.K. just talking. Because, you kind of know his shtick. And a lot of times, he's just doing Louis C.K. But I'm actually respecting him more as, an actor and, what he's doing.
All right.
So, it's him. And then his owner brings home another dog named Duke. And Duke is this big, huge dog, full of hair. Eric, I want to say... voiced by Eric Song. I want to say Songstreet, but I know it's not his last name. He's from Modern Family.
Yeah.
And this is his first, feature voiceover acting deal. So, essentially, they come in, and then, a dog walker takes them out, and then they get lost. So that happens, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes in the movie. It's not
Does hilarity ensue afterwards?
Yes! Hilarity ensues to a degree, but this is also... I had kind of high expectations, because this is from the people who gave you Despicable Me and Minions.
So is this more Despicable Me or more Minions?
I'd go more Minions, unfortunately.
Does it go full-blown Minions, or is it Despicable Me 2?
It's between Despicable Me 2 and Minions, because Despicable Me, those two, I hold in pretty high regards. I like what they did in both those movies, and then in Minions, it just completely jumps the shark. But in this movie, while watching it, you're kind of I appreciate what they're doing, and I know what they're trying to do. It almost turns into a Homeward Bound type movie, but you have more fun with the ancillary, with the supporting characters than you do with the main. And Jenny Slate does a great job as Max's girlfriend. She's pretty much obsessed with him, and then she goes off to find him because it's Homeward Bound. They kind of get lost, and they get lost. It's also very look at how great New York is. New York is the best place to be ever, and New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York.
So this takes place in New Jersey.
Yeah, actually, they look over the sea the whole time, and they're I just wish we were in New York.
I totally call it that. I'm impressed.
It's not quite that ridiculous, in Jersey, but no, it's in New York, and New York is a big thing in this. And then the only other thing I really want to comment on is Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart, as he is in most movies.
Yes.
And I loved him in this movie because you put Kevin Hart and you have him do his Kevin Hart thing as a tiny little rabbit named Snowball.
Oh.
So you're hearing this really aggressive voice coming out of a tiny rabbit, and it wears a little thin after a while, but it's very entertaining for the most part. And I'm not gonna ruin a lot of everything else, but it's needless to say, at the end of this movie, I was a little underwhelmed, mostly because they took a story that could have had a lot of weight and it could have had a lot of heart, but they cram it in, and the time frame of this story happens in one day, and that really bothered me because it's you're going through a whole lot of stuff. You're not. I know it's called The Secret Life of Pets. Also, this is very much a kids movie. There's almost nothing in here for adults. There are a couple of jokes, but it's the suspension of disbelief is so high. If you go in there trying to judge it as an adult, you can't really buy it.
So, as the adult, Dan, how are you going to rate this movie?
I'm actually giving this movie a C. It was enjoyable, but there was just way too much for me to nitpick, and that's what the last bit I was getting to was that there's no stakes. They show up at the end of the day, they've been waiting the whole time, and there's no payoff, there's no emotional stakes, and I think we were used to, my girlfriend and I were discussing, we're used to that higher level of caliber, getting a good Pixar where there's multiple levels and like everything's like earned and the payoff is good. Whereas this one, the payoff is there and there's no rhyme or reason or point to it. So like this is a C. It's definitely a kids movie. If you don't, I would say you don't need to pay money to see it. It made a lot of money. Good for him. But I mean,
I'm a contender.
I don't think it was that good of a movie. So yeah, it gets a C from me.
All right. Well, that wraps up this edition of the Ramble On Reactions. I am Eric, and that is Handsome Day and Night.
That's clever, Eric Muller sitting right there. So we are back. We're giving you a lot of content all at once, so we're going to shoot it
in your face.
Oh, we're going to ears and eyeballs and hopefully one day in smell-o-vision. So
and
we're going to
taste it.
All the senses. You can just feel us up on your screen.
And the sixth sense when we're dead.
You can tell we haven't done this in a while because we're really amped. So we're going to shoot another couple of reviews. And
this is water.
That's water for now. And then we're also going to record a little bit more. Tuesday saying hi. Hi, Tuesday. Be quiet. We're going to shoot a little bit more, and we're going to give you a lot of stuff coming up. So as always, ahoy, ahoy. Ramble on.
Anchors away.